Hello and welcome back to Still Eligible Thursday edition. We're headed to Bama. Natty seeking, Nick Saban coaching. Alabama. Tuscaloosa, here we come. We're excited about it. Never been there. The curse is over. Let's get into it.
First time for everything.
First time for everything. Not my best intro, but it was an intro. So there you go. We're headed to Alabama. Ole Miss, visiting town. Lane Kiffin, former assistant coach for Nick Saban, as is many people.
Yeah. Always weird to run into old bosses.
Yeah, well, Nick Saban's 23-0 against assistant coaches, so he's hoping to take that to 24-0 as Ole Miss comes to town. Yeah, I'm excited about it. We've talked to a few people that have went to Alabama, have gone to Alabama, still go to Alabama, Alabama fans. It seems like there's plenty to do in Tuscaloosa. And, yeah, I'm excited to check it out. This is obviously another trip, another week, but one that you have to be excited for, Pat.
I'm sure you're excited to consume some Yellowhammers.
Yeah, you're going to have to be the designated driver this week. We're staying a little bit out of town due to I guess this is a big game, and Tuscaloosa is not necessarily the biggest town in the world, so staying a little bit out of town, but yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'll be entertaining, and you'll be fine.
There you go. In-car entertainment.
Yeah, there we go. So that's that. It's a little preview for you. We're teaming up with Twitch again this week. If you didn't see it last week, check it out this week. They will be covering the same game, so hopefully we'll be on there once or twice and give you some live takes as far as what we're up to, where we're at, what's going on game day. There you go.
Live and, well, I guess we do it live now as as Bill O'Reilly. I shouldn't say great, but
Bill O'Reilly. What a guy.
We do it live and edited, so we do it all.
We truly do it all.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I appreciate that as well. This next segment we do, it's called Preciate Ya, as we use your catchphrase. How was your birthday, by the way? After having spent the day with me for a bit.
It was good. Went to the Cowboys game. Those fans are crazy. I guess I tweeted it was like my first time at a game
flex.
In a long time. Not as a fan, or I'm sorry, not working the game as a fan, even though my girlfriend and I went to the game and neither of us are Cowboys fans. But I was wearing a blue and white striped shirt. Some guy told me the other day I was from Penn State. I was like, okay, well, we're here for the game, just like the other 100,000 people here. But yeah, people are rowdy. It was a good game. Jalen Hurts didn't play his best. We had good seats in 300 level, that kind of like the suite level. And then one of my girlfriend's boyfriends works for the Cowboys, and he brought us down in the second half. We were right behind the Eagles bench, and yeah, so it wouldn't be a Jack Trail game if you didn't get the seat upgrade at some point. So that was a cool second half. We were standing right behind the bench, and all these hammered Cowboy fans were chanting at Joe Flacco to put Joe in because, yeah, obviously Jalen didn't have the best game ever, but Joe Flacco might be elite, and they wanted him in there to change the pace, but that did not happen. So it was a fun day overall.
My first Preciate Ya
You asked.
goes to Rhett Rodriguez, and when I saw this, my first thought was like, so Rhett Rodriguez's son,
Yes.
believe he was 7 years old at Rich's Michigan introductory press conference, so that was just wild because he is now a college quarterback for Louisiana Monroe, and he suffered a partially collapsed lung against Troy, and he was on a ventilator. I don't know why I pronounced it like that. Terry Bowden, his head coach, said it was the first time he has ever seen an injury of this type. He would later go on to say that the doctor told him it was more consistent with car crashes than a hard tackle. We got some good news, though. Rhett Rodriguez tweeted, wanted to give an update regarding Rhett's health. He was released from the hospital this afternoon and is feeling much better now. Thanks again to everyone for the outpouring of support. It has touched us all. So just glad that Rhett is doing okay.
Terry Bowden, longtime Akron head coach.
Yeah?
Legend. I remember driving to high school. He was on the back of like all the Akron buses, and I'll show you this picture in a bit. It's amazing. He was on the back of the bus holding a football out like this, and it just said Bowden ball. Bowden ball Akron. I'll see if I can find it. There's I think there's probably a bunch of different ones. This one.
Oh yeah.
I was on the back of all the buses, and I was like, "This is amazing." Terry Bowden, built different.
Truly.
Yeah, truly. The whistle and all. So that's a great look. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Rhett Rodriguez, appreciate you. Glad you're doing better.
Boom. My first one goes out to, I'll probably never do this one again, and I never planned on doing this, but Paul Feinbaum. He said Dabo Swinney, his dynasty is no longer. It is done. Paul Feinbaum and I do not see eye to eye on a lot of things, partially because he just loves the SEC way too much, and Alabama and everything like that. Just a front runner, definition of a front runner. Bad hair day every day for Paul Feinbaum. Mm-hmm. But we're seeing eye to eye when he said the dynasty is over down there in Clemson. Clemson snapped the 36-game winning streak over non-ranked teams. They're ranked 25 in the country. Snaps their 97 straight weeks in the AP top 10, third longest streak in the history of the poll. First time since week 4 of 2015. So they play in a horrible league, and I just love to see Clemson 2-2 at the end of September. No one saw that coming. I love it. I enjoy it. I tweeted a few things. People are giving me some DMs, hate towards my dislike for Clemson, but I don't care. So there you go. Paul Feinbaum. Appreciate you.
Yeah, he does not like Jim Harbaugh very much.
Can't blame him.
My next one, this one, the last appreciate I gave out to the Kentucky linebacker was kind of a roller coaster of a depreciate into appreciate ya. Mm-hmm. Not sure this is going to be that much of a story arc, but Gavin Adcock from Georgia Southern, I don't know if you saw this, he was suspended for chugging a beer while standing on top of a moving bus.
Yeah, he's my hero. I was looking into getting his jersey.
Yeah.
Because that seems like something I can get behind.
Yeah, captured on video before Saturday's game against Louisiana, chugging a beer from a fan, proceeding to put it down, all while being the lone person standing on top of a school bus in motion.
Yeah, and the best part is it was pregame.
Yeah, it was pregame. Not sure that's probably not the best pregame, hydration, nutrition. It's not a Gatorade, that's for sure.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
There you go. But he's suspended. Their head coach was also fired, so it's just kind of been it's been an eventful few days. Not sure how long his suspension is going to last. He did issue an apology though, so this is going to end up being appreciate ya. He said, "I want to reach out and express my deepest apology for my foolish actions on the bus this past Saturday. For the remainder of my time here, I will do everything in my power to reassure my love and commitment to this amazing place."
I don't think the apology was necessary or needed in the slightest.
I mean, he's a legend.
I mean, I support everything he did. It was a appreciate you from the start. I didn't need an appreciate you after the apology.
I mean, you're burning so many calories on a game day. It's like, what's a beer?
Pre-game beer.
Yeah, just kind of,
I've done it.
Ease the nerves. So, yeah, I guess this has been appreciate you from the start. But Gavin Adcock, appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a good one. I would have taken it if you didn't take it. Yeah. So, double appreciate you.
Yeah.
My next one goes to the St. Louis Cardinals. I know we haven't talked about baseball in a while. Baseball is happening. Wild card's about to happen, and the MLB playoffs is right around the corner. So August 5th, the Cardinals were 2 games under 500. Their chances of making the playoffs on August 8th was 1.3%. September 7th, 2.8%. Then they started their winning streak on September 11th. They won 17 games straight. They are now 88-69. They were 71-69 before that. Clinched the NL second wild card. Second longest winning streak in September since the 1935 Cubs, who won 21 straight.
They were good.
They were good. That has been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Third longest streak since 1960. Longest streak in team history. Giants or the Dodgers will have to play the Cardinals in a 1-game wild card showdown sometime next week. I don't know. We know one thing about baseball. It's the hotter team. You don't want to play the hot team in baseball. When you're hot, you're hot. Giants and Dodgers, obviously, very good teams, but that could come to an end when the St. Louis Cardinals come to town. So I love a good little baseball. Appreciate you. Haven't done one in a while. So I like this. And St. Louis Cardinals, appreciate you.
Big baseball guy.
I am a big baseball guy.
Yeah.
I've been out of the loop because I'm more of a college football guy currently, but it is what it is. So that is our Appreciate You segment. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to hop into our Power 5 list. This week it is our top 5 coaches, and we don't know what each other wrote necessarily, but we did a little discussion pre-pod, and I don't know. It seems like we took an interesting route with this, and I feel like we're going to not have a bunch of good coaches actually on this list. So we will see what we have in store. We will be right back. Welcome back to Still Eligible. It is time for our Power 5 list of top 5 coaches. Pat, you went first last week, which only means I should go first this week. Don't look at my screen, and we'll get into it here. So I got to be strategic on who I want to get off the board first.
Part of the strategy here.
Yeah, so, my first one, an elite coach, Mr. Miyagi.
Ooh.
Yeah, painting the fence, elite chopstick abilities, low energy, high intensity, the definition of cool, calm, and collected, deeply philosophical, just a beast. Karate Kid, if you're not getting the reference, if you don't get the reference, then maybe sit down and watch all of the Karate Kids, because Mr. Miyagi is a legend and an elite coach, and you should know that. And yeah, Mr. Miyagi, that's my first coach in the top 5 coaches.
Good. It's a good pick. Excited I am for this selection. My first coach is Yoda.
Yeah.
From Star Wars.
All time.
Didn't have the title of coach, but I would kind of argue that he's like the ultimate coach in terms of, you have people like John Wooden who literally have books filled with quotes.
Yes.
My favorite one is "Do or do not, there is no try." Just a great quote. I know like Baby Yoda has kind of come onto the scene recently, and it's still the same Yoda, just a different.
It's a younger Yoda.
Just a different time period, but I think that was kind of before he became a great coach. He was kind of just cute then.
Before you're a great coach, you have to become a great coach.
Yeah, so I'm talking like.
You're talking Yoda, not Baby Yoda.
Not Baby Yoda, Yoda.
Cool. All right, that's your first. You got your second?
That's my first. My second is not a football coach per se. He coaches in a different field. Tony Robbins. He's a life coach. I read about like a fourth of his book called "Awaken the Giant Within," and it really, I feel like it helped. I think it really awoke the giant within. But I feel like he could be a great football coach. Maybe not X's and O's, but motivationally, he'd probably be a top tier coach. He's also 6'7" and has a big frame, big hands.
Big everything.
Could be a great left tackle, maybe like a player coach if need be. And then I don't know if you've seen the movie Shallow Hal with Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black's all the time.
Great performance in that movie.
He was a great coach in School of Rock.
That's true. Feel like he could maybe, fit in at a school like USC where you kind of need to be a little bit of a celebrity to be a coach. So, yeah, Tony Robbins, life coach.
Another life coach that's not on my list but deserves some love would be William Hung. We found out last week that William Hung is a life coach.
Yes.
So he's an honorable mention.
Yes.
There'll probably be a few of those.
Yep.
My next one, Irv Blitzer, John Candy from Cool Runnings.
Yes.
Bobsled legend. Turned Jamaica into a legit bobsled team. So legit they almost broke a world record until their blade fell off just before the finish line, where they famously picked up their bobsled and walked across the finish line. So, just an all-time coach. He had some problems, was caught cheating by putting weights on the bottom beneath the bobsled to make it go faster. But if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. So Irv Blitzer, John Candy, rest in peace, legend. Hell of a coach. And, yeah, he's in my top 5 coaches of all time.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I got 2.
Yeah.
Pat Summitt.
Nice.
Pat Summitt. Pat Summitt won 16 SEC regular season titles with the Lady Vols, as well as 16 tournament titles. She made an appearance in every NCAA tournament from 1982 until she retired in 2012. Advanced to the Sweet 16 every year except 2009. Appeared in the Final Four 18 times, most ever, men's or women's. 8-time national champion. Overall record 1,098 wins to 206 losses. Winning percentage of 841. So she passed away in 2016 of all timers. But she was a legendary coach. She was known for her Summitt stare down. She was also known for playing some intense games throughout the year, where she wasn't trying to necessarily play cakewalk games, but hard games to better prepare her team for the tournament. Obviously worked out well just based off the stats I just rattled off: 18 Final Fours and 8 national championships. So Pat Summitt, yeah, that's my third top 5 coach.
It's a good pick.
Thank you.
I realize there probably won't be much overlap on these lists the way we're doing them, but
wait till you see my next 2.
Makes it more exciting. All right, let's see. I might have to call an audible
There's
here.
so many good coaches.
I know.
We're just not going to make
Yeah,
this.
oh yeah. People are going to see this on social media and just be like,
what?
the whole point of like us posting the graphic is like, we want you to listen to the podcast so that we want you to listen to the podcast so like you understand the context, because it's not just like a straight up list, obviously.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm trying to think of an audible here for maybe my last one, but I'm going to keep going. So
I don't think we're going to overlap. I can almost guarantee.
I don't think we are.
I actually can guarantee that you could do any of your next 3, and we will not overlap.
No, that's true. All right, so my next one, also not a football coach, which should not be a surprise to anybody. Cody Rigsby, Peloton coach.
Hey, I know Cody.
He's got some enthusiasm. I don't know if I've ever actually taken a ride from him, considering I don't have access to a Peloton. I know you do.
Come stop by.
Do you ever take his rides?
I have taken a Cody Rigsby ride.
What do you think of it?
It's high energy.
Yeah, I've seen clips. I've seen him on Instagram, on social media. I believe he's going to be on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, he is.
So good for him. He's kind of.
Do you think he'll be okay, considering he's not on a bike? He's got to be.
Yeah.
On the ground, or maybe they'll do one on the bike.
I mean, biking. I mean, if he was biking with the stars while his partner danced, that might be.
Could be a new show.
I do need to take a ride from him. I had access to a Peloton kind of before the whole Peloton craze, but I don't know if he was really active then.
I'm sure he was active, but maybe not active on.
Yeah,
Peloton.
he was physically active for sure. But I just love his enthusiasm. Not sure, if football players will relate to him as a coach, but
that's just top 5 coaches. It's not.
Yeah,
football.
no, he's a great Peloton coach. When I say Peloton coach, I think he's probably the first person that really comes to mind for me.
For you.
For me personally. So, Cody, love the enthusiasm. Keep it going. All right, I'm just going to kind of go with my next one since there's no chance you'll be using my last one. Next one is Butch Harmon, golf coach. I also considered David Ledbetter here, but Butch is the GOAT. He was Tiger Woods. I don't need to say Woods. He was Tiger's swing coach. Everybody knows who I'm talking about when I say Tiger.
Yes.
From 93 to 2004. Obviously, Tiger played a few good rounds in those years, and then he was Phil Mickelson's coach from 2007 to 2015. Also worked with just a few other players you might recognize: Ernie Els, Stuart Sink, Greg Norman, Davis Love III, Fred Couples, Justin Leonard, Ricky Fowler.
Never heard of them.
Dustin Johnson.
I've heard of him.
Yeah. Again, kind of just as a football coach, I don't think he'd be very helpful, but with pursuit angles, like pooch kicking out of bounds, onside kicks are kind of like a bump and run. I feel like that would probably be his strength.
There you go.
So, Butch Harmon.
So I got 2. My last 2. This is my only football coach on the list. Jim Harbaugh.
Wow.
Yeah, I love what he's done at Michigan. 0-5 against Ohio State. In their 5 meetings, Ohio State's outscored Michigan 221-16. Last year, he even faked a COVID scare through the entire team, so he didn't have to play Ohio State. So it would have been 0-6, but we'll just stick with 0-5. So I love what he's done with the program up there. He's a top 5 coach in my book. So Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, that's my 4th. My last one, I know there's no overlap here. The cradle of coaches, Miami of Ohio. If you don't know, I'm about to tell you, but Miami of Ohio, where I went to school, is known for the cradle of coaches. They've had a long lineage of elite coaches. I'll just run through them. Earl Red Blake, he had 20 assistant coaches that who became head coaches, including one Vince Lombardi. Paul Brown, ever heard of him?
Yes.
He invented the face mask, the playbook, first head coach to have an African-American player on his team. The Browns are named after him. The Bengals Stadium is named after him, Paul Brown. Paul Dietzel, first guy to coach LSU to a national championship. Bo Schembechler, obviously a great coach up north. Don't need to get into that. Weeb Eubank, he coached the greatest game ever played, 1958 Baltimore Colts versus New England Giants. Carmen Koza, winningest coach in the Ivy League history. Ara Parsegan, he's a legend around the Schragle household. My uncle coached with him at Notre Dame and at Northwestern. Coached at Notre Dame for 11 years. Joe Theismann, Joe Montana, Rudy, a couple of natties. It's a legend. The other Harbaugh, John Harbaugh, Baltimore Ravens head coach, Super Bowl champ. Woody Hayes, he went 205, 61, and 10 while at Ohio State, 5 natties. He actually got the job at Ohio State over Paul Brown. So there's that.
Oh,
and then a modern one for you, Sean McVay. Played at Miami and obviously the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. So I just was able to take one of my picks and turn it into like 8
Yeah, I
picks.
didn't know you could do that. That's good.
There you go.
Reference for moving forward. Is that why you went to Miami, Ohio? So you could be a coach someday?
Maybe one day. Cradle of coaches.
Maybe like when you're older?
I mean, every day I get older.
All right, so this one's tough because I know that we're not supposed to have overlap, but I may be kind of bending the rules here a little bit. So I know that you did Harbaugh, but I just have to do this one. I'm sorry. He's known for being a coach at the University of Michigan. He also coached at Stanford. I'm sorry, Jack. I have to do this one. I'm obviously talking about Fielding Yost.
Yeah.
He was the head coach at Ohio Wesleyan, Nebraska, Kansas, Stanford University, San Jose State University, and Michigan. He had a record of 198, 35, and 12 during his 25 seasons as the head football coach at Ann Arbor. Won 6 national championships, 10 Big Ten conference titles. Had a record of 165, 29, and 10 there. He had a point a minute was what people called his squad. Outscored his opponents by a margin of 2,821 to 42.
Yeah, that's some good numbers.
Pretty good.
Dabo should look into that.
And yeah, won 4 straight national championships from 1901 to 1904, 2 more in 1918 and 1923.
You love giving a Michigan head coach some love, especially when he hasn't coached in over 100 years.
Yeah, I think that one would have worked better if I had done it directly before you did Harbaugh, but
it is what
alas.
It is. It just should be noted that we left off Bill Belichick,
Yeah.
Nick Saban, John Wooden. So some elite coaches.
Don Shula,
UConn coach.
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson. I mean, we only had 5 coaches.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
come on.
there's only so much space.
So that is our Power 5, top 5 coaches.
Yoda had to be on the list,
I mean,
obviously.
Yeah. Mr. Miyagi with the number 1 overall pick. I mean, it was a must.
Yeah, this graphic is going to be insane this week.
People are like, what the heck? Notable people left off the list.
Yeah.
It's probably a stronger
list
than our top 5, but it is what it is. So top 5, there you go. We are going to take a break. We will come right back, and we are going to get into our locks of the week, which I know you're excited for. I've been on the come up, but I picked some close games, some good games this week. So who knows if I take a plummet this week.
I've been on the come down, but yeah, trying to be on the come up as well. Lock it in.
It is time for our locks of the week. I believe you're 11-10. I'm 10-9, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Something like that.
So we're keeping it close in week 5. Why don't you go ahead and kick things off for us, Pat?
Yeah. So Ole Miss, not Old Miss at Alabama. I'm taking Bama minus 14.5. I just can't pick against Bama until they give me a reason not to. In the same way, I'm never picking Washington State ever again. Sorry, Ian.
Who's a Washington State fan?
Ian.
Why?
Because he went there.
It doesn't mean anything to me.
I do like the storylines, though. I mean, going up against your former boss, like I said before, it's always a little awkward to see your former boss, especially in public, probably even more so when you're playing in front of close to 100,000 people. Obviously, 2 Heisman favorites, and Bryce Young and Matt Corral. And I don't know. Ole Miss has 17 starters back this year, and they were tied with Bama last year, 42-42 in the fourth quarter. So this was a tough pick, but I mean, I can't pick against Saban right now. So
that's fair. What's the spread? 14.5?
14.5.
Yeah, I was afraid to go either way here, so I just went with under 79.5 points.
That's good.
Bama or Ole Miss 3-0 against spread. Coming off the bye week, like you said, the coaches know each other. I mentioned earlier that Nick Saban's 23-0 against assistant coaches, so one would imagine at home he'd go 24-0. I don't know if they blow him out or if it's a close game or whatever. That's why I'm taking the under. Ole Miss is top 5 rushing team in the country, so hopefully the ball is on the ground. Last time I said that, the over hit, and it didn't make a difference. The Arkansas-Texas game, 80 points is a lot, so I'm just going with the under. I know both teams can score, but this might bite me in the butt, but we'll see. But.
That was the first time you've done like over under for
the game we're at.
The game we're at, yeah. I didn't even think to do that. That was a
savvy move.
I like that pick a lot. Next one for me, Michigan is going to play at Wisconsin. I'm taking Michigan plus 1.5. I know this is a bit of a homer pick. We saw Wisco lose to Penn State. Lost to Notre Dame. I think they're kind of trending down while Michigan is trending up. I know Michigan had the close game with Rutgers last week. I think they'll be ready to play on Saturday. Jack, did you know that Michigan running back Blake Corum can squat 315 pounds 25 times?
Yeah, you've told me.
He's playing great, and I think Michigan kind of has the bodies this year, especially on the D line. I love Aiden Hutchinson, future top 10 pick. I think they're gonna have a good showing against Wisco's offensive line. And yeah, I like Cade McNamara. I like a lot of stuff about Michigan right now, so I'm going to take Michigan plus 1.5.
Who would have saw that coming?
No one.
Every week, it's almost a lock that you make the pick.
Yeah.
My next one, Texas -5 versus TCU. I mean, Texas is rolling right now. Ever since they had their loss to Arkansas. Last week they dropped 70 points on Texas Tech. I don't see TCU hanging with them. So that was just a simple little pick there. I don't know. I think that TCU is decent, but not great, and Texas needs to be great, especially playing Oklahoma next week. So I'm taking Texas -5.
I like that pick. This is probably my pick that worries me the most, but it's kind of just going from a gut feeling. I'm going to take Arkansas plus 18.5 against Georgia. I know Georgia has been steamrolling people. Obviously, they beat Clemson in the opener. That was a low-scoring game. Since then, they've won their games by a combined score of 158-20. That's almost like Fielding Yost-esque scores. I mean, we got to watch a little bit of the Arkansas game. They got some very fast players, some quick guys. I like how they're playing. So I feel like Georgia's going to win, but I think that I think 18.5 is a good line there. So I'm taking Arkansas.
Yeah, I will be doing the same. Near 3 touchdown underdogs, you got to go with it. Arkansas is coming in hot. 4 straight wins, 4-0, 4-0 versus spread. They've got some big wins against Texas A&M. The big storyline is Sam Pittman's return to Georgia. I think that you're right here. Kirby Smart wants everyone greased up and ready to roll, he issued a challenge, the 12 a.m. kick, 12 p.m. kick,
Oh,
rather.
that would be a tough game time.
It'd be fun. Late night, 12 p.m. kick in Athens, Georgia. He told the fans to show up early, show up better than ever, be loud, yell loud, be intense. The players will be intense. The fans need to be intense. The fans need to be tough, the same toughness the team will be playing with. The last thing is they need to be elite. So Kirby Smart addresses the team like that. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried. Georgia has looked great. They've put up some points, but I think Arkansas has this mentality, the motivation, stuff like that. So I think that you roll with that. You roll with Arkansas. I took them last week. It did me well. I'm going to take them again this week.
I like that pick, obviously, because I made it as well. Cincinnati at Notre Dame. I am taking Notre Dame plus 1.5. I don't really know how Notre Dame is doing so well this year. I'm going to keep rolling with it. Sounds like Jack Cohn is going to be back from his injury. That helps. I'm not a Luke Fickell fan, even though Luke was at the helm when we beat Ohio State.
Last beat.
Yeah, I was there in person. That was fond memories. Seems like a long time ago because it was. I got a little reunion here with Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame's defensive coordinator, came from Cincinnati, so I think there will be, I don't know if it will be bad blood. There might be some blood. Someone might get a wound or a cut.
It happens. It's
yeah.
football.
I like Notre Dame plus 1.5. I think they're going to win this outright. So this is a fairly easy pick.
Fairly easy pick. I don't know why you'd say that because I went back and forth in this game 50 times. This is my next pick. I think whoever loses this game is basically eliminated from the CFP. Obviously, Cincinnati is trying to be that first non-Power 5 to get a bid into the CFP. Notre Dame's schedule, we said, we don't know if they're good, if they're bad. They have a tough schedule. This is the biggest game circled on Cincinnati's calendar all year. They're coming off a bye week, which I think is nice. I don't like that the fact that they're Notre Dame is underdogs at home. That freaks me out a little bit. I don't know. I went back and forth. I'm still going back and forth. Desmond,
you can change your pick right now if you want.
I haven't even said what my pick is. Desmond Ritter, when the OC said to him, it's going to be loud at Notre Dame on Saturday, he said, it shouldn't be loud for too long, which I love the confidence from Desmond there. 1.5 points, Cincinnati. I don't know. I'm really struggling with this, but since you took Notre Dame, I will take the under 51 points. Yeah. I was going back and forth. I had Cincinnati, then I had Notre Dame. Then I went back to Cincinnati, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just go with under 51. Hopefully it's a defensive showdown, and we'll see where that gets me. I think that's a way around it, so I'm going with the under.
Yeah, I keep forgetting I usually do it for my last pick or last two picks, but I need to remember that that's even an option. I did remember it for this one. Oregon at Stanford. I'm taking the over 57.5. Obviously, saw Oregon in person tear it up against Ohio State. That was left a lasting impression on me.
Good. Glad it did.
Yeah. Anthony Brown, C.J. Verdell, Travis Dye. Obviously they dominated against Ohio State, but Stanford is also averaging 32 points a game. In Oregon's games, they've scored 41, 48, 35, and 31. So
what's the over-under
at? 57.5.
You're taking the over?
Taking the over.
Cool.
So I feel good about that pick, and by saying that, I'm probably gonna not get it.
There you go. Let's hope. My last one, Florida -8 versus Kentucky. This matchup, Florida's won 33 of the last 34 meetings. Granted, Kentucky is undefeated so far this season, and they look like they're up to something down there. But I think Florida's a better football team regardless who they have at quarterback. We saw them against Bama, while Kentucky is undefeated. Kentucky won their last week's game against South Carolina by 6, won against University of Tennessee at Chattanooga by 5, and Mizzou by 7. So those are some close games, and none of those teams are Florida, in my opinion.
That's true. That's correct.
Yeah, Florida is third in the country in rushing. Whether they've got their running backs, 3 running backs, 2 QBs. Their defense looks locked in, And, it should be a low-scoring affair, but I think Florida with 8 points seems to be a good pick, so I'll lock it in.
Got to give Jordan Harold some carries.
Jordan Harold.
He did notice
save him a flag from 12 men on the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, the more you know.
Shout out Jordan.
You did your 5, I did my 5, right?
Yep.
That is our locks of the week. Hopefully, we get to watch some of these games. I know that, what's it called? The Arkansas-Georgia game we're probably going to miss. I don't even know what time all these – and the Cincinnati-Notre Dame game we're probably going to miss. I don't know what time all these games kick off, so we might miss all of them. But it is what it is. So it makes it fun to look at your phone throughout the game that you're at, and you're like, okay, well, at least I got something going my way. Cool. So that was our Power 5.
Yeah.
Anything else to add?
No, I'm excited. We've seen Saban in person once. Now we get to kind of
his house.
See his house, and I guess once we get on the road, I'd say week 1 was obviously the week we had done the most prep, and just so people kind of know we kind of figure this out as we go. We did do some like preseason research for the games that didn't get switched out or swapped out. So we have a little bit of research that we did kind of in the summer months that we're gonna rely on, but we also kind of just figure stuff out as we go. So
figure it out as we go. We asked people some questions. We talked to some people from Alabama, went to Alabama, know Alabama, so we should be pretty much set on that front. But if you have suggestions, hit our line, let us know.
Yeah, at Still Eligible, social media, we're everywhere. Comment, DM, whatever you want to do, just follow and subscribe.
Boom.
That's all we ask.
There it is. That is our Thursday episode. We are still eligible. We appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you on Tuesday. Follow us this weekend. Hey, it's Jack. Appreciate you listening to today's podcast. You can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Make sure to follow us on social media at Still Eligible. We'll see you next time.